Hi everybody, it's Ruthie. Welcome back to Crazy's Chaotic Crafts. Today we're starting our series on the different types of layouts that I have found. I have come up with about 20 of them, so we're going to do just one video at a time, keep them short, and just show you the ones that I've come up with. I have not designed any of these myself. They're not my ideas, but I did design some of these all of these on Cricut Design Space because it was the easiest way I found without cutting a bunch of paper to show you the different layouts that I figured out. Um, if you have any questions on that, be sure you leave it down on the comments below, and let's get started. This represents a 12 by 12 piece of paper. The one we're starting with is the horizontal. So basic, you can take any piece of paper. It could be scrap paper. Some of these papers, 12 by 12 papers, come double-sided. Cut it in half, cut it 8 and 4, whatever your heart desires. Cut it and turn one layer over, because most of the time those papers coordinate really well together and you have a layout. Now, if you're one that doesn't really care for this seam, if it looks a little harsh for you, you can definitely use embellishment strips, washi tape. By the way, if you're using washi tape and you haven't figured out this little trick, line your washi tape on white paper and then cut along it and then put it on there. You'll see that the pattern on it pops so much better. So anyway, this is a way to um, dress up that seam line if that seam line does bother you any. The pattern paper, if you have a solid piece of paper, the solid's on the bottom, and this is your pattern paper. It can be on the top, it can be on the bottom. That doesn't matter. It's still the horizontal layout. The other thing that you can do is you can put a small strip on the top and a smaller strip on the bottom, and that's still that horizontal layout. So that being said, let me get these out of my way here and we will start. The first one I'm going to show you is one that's in Cricut Design Space. Now, I have used Cricut Design Space for years. I do pay for it. It's about $10 a month is the way I usually pay for it. About $100 for the year, but I make a lot of my embellishments. I make shirts, that kind of thing. So to me, it pays off to use it and I love it. But you can use Cricut Design Space without paying it. You just don't get all of the benefits, all of the images that's available. So this is the first one that was actually the one that they came up with themselves. Now I did add the back of this to it. Let me see, that's not the right one. Let's get over here. I want to show you. I like having this extra pop of color around it. So this is the way it came. This is the way it came, and I did add the paper behind it. Now, this is not something you have to do, but as you can see, they just used a 12 by 12 piece of black paper, and then they put the purple on top, and they didn't have it come all the way to the end. As you can see, and this is a great way to use up scraps, guys. If you have scraps that you don't use, it's a good way to use it. Um, this purple could easily be on top. Add your pictures and embellishments. It's an easy, quick layout. So let me show you some of the ones that I did come up with. Now this is one that I did, and I used it as if you have a corner rounder. If you have a punch and you like the way it looks on the corners, it doesn't have to be the square on here. It can be rounded corners. It can be a fancy edge. Whatever you decide that you want to do, it's easy. It's easy to just dress up these lines. And like I said, if you decide that you don't like that harsh edge, it's really easy just to come up here and put a strip back here. Send that to the back. And it covers, whoops, put that a little bit too far back. Let me bring that forward a little bit for you. Well, anyway, you get the gist. It covers up those edges if that bothers you. It's not always necessary, but get rid of this one, and I do have another one. This one is easier to show you what I meant by the different pattern papers. This one I just used a piece of black paper, and I don't usually do digital layouts, but this works for digital. It also works for other types of layouts using paper or whatever. This could easily be an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper if that's what you prefer. So this one, this is the edge that I was telling you about. If you have that on there and it's bothering you, it's easy enough to come up and take the piece of paper. Let me change the color so you can see it a little bit easier. Take the piece of paper, take washi tape. All right, let me get my fingers to work with my hands here. Let me bring that to the front. Do you need any tips or any information on Cricut Design Space? Don't hesitate to leave that message down below, and I'll be more than happy to let you know about it. But that just covers up that edge if that bothers you. This could be washi tape, embellishment strip, whatever, whatever your heart desires. And let me get rid of this one, and I do have one more. I don't always do 2-page layouts, but I do want to start doing more 2-page layouts because I do have a lot of photos, and I'm not getting any younger, and I really do want to start getting more of my pictures done and getting that information out for my kids and my grandbabies. Because we recently had my husband's mother pass away, and she had pictures way back from the early 1800s, guys. And I don't know who half these people are. I don't know who they are. So that being said, I just don't want my kids to have to go through that. Let me see. Yeah, that's the one. So this one is one that I designed, and I actually did make a poster of this one. Let me move it up. I'm gonna move some of these down here so I can have room. I'll make this a little bigger so it's easier for you to see. This one I made a poster for them, and I just took orange strips of paper and I put the players' names and their numbers on there, and this just represents the field. So this is what I was telling you earlier with the small strip and a little bit larger strip on the bottom, and it still has that same horizontal layout for you. Again, it's easy enough to come up and put a strip here if that bothers you, but we're going to get rid of that because it doesn't. This is a second page that I designed if I wanted to put more of the 4x4 type pictures, because on the second page, I do want to try to get as many pictures on as possible. So if I decided to print 4x4 pictures, this is the way that I could do that. And again, it just has that strips of paper on the top and the bottom, but this time instead of paper, I used pictures. This one is representing using 3x3 photos. Now, if I decided I wanted to do again, it's just that strip of paper on top, strip of paper on the bottom, and it still represents that horizontal layout. And this last one is because I'm thinking I might actually do a couple of these, even if I use one of these as 4x4s or 3x3s on the bottom, and some 2x2s as well. Because this, especially in a football game, you can print out pictures and zoom in on just the players that you're trying to key in and put them here, and it brings back the memories. You can also put a pocket down here and put one of the programs or something if they have a program with it. So we'll be doing some of that as well, putting pockets and adding some things, because we have a lot of things I need to scrapbook, a lot of things I need to pass on to my future generations, because I do want my grandbabies, my great grandbabies, I want them to know who their family is. I want them to know when they see a picture, they see a name, and they're like, I remember seeing that on my genealogy chart. When they go to school and do a family tree, I want them to know where they come from. I want them to know who people are in the pictures. So, guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so now. And if you haven't hit that like button, that alert button, do it now, because I'm going to be doing a whole lot more. We're going to be doing a lot of new stuff. I watched a lot of videos, and I just want to pass on the information that I have. I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.